Good afternoon and welcome to OGTV News at midday. I am Mojisola Shulaja. The contractor handling the ongoing construction work on the Pansheke Adigbe Road has promised to complete the project by the 20th of May 2021. The contractor gave this assurance to the Governor of Ogun State, Prince Dapo Abiodun, who was on an inspection tour of the project. Governor's Office correspondent Tunde Olaniro reports that the governor also inspected the Elite Lantoro Road, disclosing that asphalting will commence this week.
Government, they say, is a continuum, and the current administration in Ogun State has matched his words with action by ensuring that all uncompleted projects of direct bearing on the life of the people are completed. One of them is the Lafenwa Rounda Ayetoro Road. Another is Pansheke Adigbe Road. According to the governor, the completion of Pansheke Adigbe Road will bring a huge relief to the people of the area and improve commercial activities.
This road is a very, very important road. It's a very important interstate road. It starts from Abeokuta South, Pansheke, and goes all the way to Obafemi, which is Adigbe. So it's a road that connects two local governments. Besides, you can see the volume of traffic, both motorcycles and vehicular traffic. You recall that when we resumed the office, the first thing that greeted us there was, because of the rains, there was a cover that had been completely washed away. It divided this community into two. And we had to rise to the occasion and ensure that we found a permanent solution to that particular culvert. And I'm glad that as we speak today, that culvert is there for everyone to see.
The governor, however, got the commitment of the contractor handling the project on the completion date of the project.
I'm not very impressed with this pace of work. And that is not unconnected with some of the difficulties that the contractor has shared with us that he's had. There were issues with moving the electrical distribution lines out of his right of way, which was not included in his contract, surprisingly. So we had to contract that to somebody else. And there were other issues that have been identified. We also had to sort of expand the whole scope because the drainage originally was not wide enough for what we saw as the torrential flow of the body of water when it rains here. So that has accounted, according to him, for the slowness or in the pace of the work. But he has assured me that this project will be finished second week of May of 2021. And we're going to hold him to it. I further extended the scope of work. We'll be doing that, but I've told you verbally today. Because the road falls short of that culvert that we repaired the last time. The initial scope of work is about 3 kilometers. That means the road will probably be extended by another 1.5 kilometers so that it goes all the way to that culvert and beyond, so that it can bring the needed relief to all those that are traveling from Bafemi to Abeokuta South and indeed to the rest of the state. So
the inspection train moved to Elite Lantoro Road, the road projects initiated by the current administration. The people of the area were jubilant, full of appreciation to the governor for the project, which they described as life-saving.
Mo kọ́kọ́ fẹ́ dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gómìnà wa fún iṣẹ́ tí wọ́n ṣe fún wa ní Òkè Lantoro. We have really tried. We appreciate. Ọlọ́run á dẹ̀ máa fún yín ní okun àtàgbẹ́ra. Almighty God is strengthening you more. Nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ni pé I appreciate iná pé ẹ ti ẹ̀bẹ̀rẹ̀ iṣẹ́ fún wa níbí báyìí. Ẹ wá sí wa is a privilege.
Wọ́n ti mú clever tí wọ́n ti sún sókè láti jẹ́ kí ó lè gba àgbàrá òjò púpọ̀ ju tàtẹ̀yìnwá lọ. Wọ́n tún wá mú kanáà yẹn, wọ́n wá dírẹ̀jì ẹ̀ wọ́n á ṣí ní ọ̀tún àti òsì wọ́n wá ṣe ọ̀dọ́pẹ́ ní retaining wall síbẹ̀ sí àtọ́nú bá ti ń bọ̀ omi yẹn á lè máa ṣàn lọ ẹ má wọrí ibẹ̀ mo ti dúró mo ti jókòó mo ti wo bẹ̀rẹ̀ àtijọ́ discuss ẹ̀ tó ní ọ̀pọ̀ ó ṣe pàtàkì kí bíríìjì yẹn kí òjò lè máa torí bíbà ó dẹnu ó jagun síbẹ̀ yẹn fún gbogbo ẹ̀gbọ́n aláàjò bíbà yẹn ẹni pé àti wọ́n ṣe gbọ́tà yẹn ti ṣe dáadáa wọ́n ti fi kọ́ kọ́tà torí ẹ̀ so ọmọ kọ̀ọ̀kan ọ̀dẹ̀ kó sínú gbọ́tà mọ́ màá ní ṣẹ̀pẹ́ láàrin between now and kí Easter yìí tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ wọ́n á ṣe ìtàfẹ́ náà fún mi.
The current administration in Ogun State is not undermining the development of infrastructure to the people, as it is the eye in the Ishaya pillar of the current administration. Tunde Olaniro, OGTV News.
The state government has described the Ionian Festival as a panacea for youth development, especially in the area of sports and academics. The state governor, Prince Dapo Abiodun, stated this during the grand finale of the 82nd Festival of Sports and Academic Competition held at Remo Secondary School, Shagamu. Yusuf Gani reports.
Ionian Festival has become an historical event that helps to produce learning environments where potentials of individuals are imbued with honesty, integrity and ability to sustain circumstances of life. The 82nd Ionian Festival drew participants from 4 southwest states like Oyo, Ondo, Osun and hosted by Ogun State through Remo Secondary School, Shagamu, with full participation both in sports and academics activities. The Ogun State Governor, Prince Dapo Abiodun, represented by the State Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Professor Abayomi Arigbabu, said the festival brings about added advantage to the socio-economic development of the state and the country at large.
It's always something that they look forward to, because those who are even not good academically have the opportunity to participate in the discussion activities where they were there.
The chairman of the occasion, Are Adetola Emmanuel King, Chief Ionia, Mr. Akinyemi Falayola, as well as Akaribu and Paramount of Remoland, Oba Babatunde Ajay, among others, were very optimistic with the vision and mission of the founding fathers of Ionia Festival.
To continue to nurture and improve on their skills. Someday along the line, they will go higher to the level of becoming world champions.
We've been able to realize the fact that there are potentials in these students if we try as much as possible to develop them. Academics is being rewarded. It's just to get them up and ginger them that look, yes, you've got to play, you've got to associate. At the end of the day, don't lose your focus about your academics.
The 4-day event also had final of football match where Remo Secondary School, Shagamu, won with a lone goal against Ilesha Grammar School, among other competitions. Cutting of the festival cake spiced the occasion. Yusuf Ganiyu, OGTV News.
The Ogun State Governor, Prince Dapo Abiodun, has extolled the leadership qualities of the national leader of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, as he clocks 69 years. Governor Abiodun, in a statement signed by his Chief Press Secretary, Kunle Shumorin, described Tinubu as an exemplary icon of democracy and true elder statesman. According to the statement, Tinubu's giant strides in politics, business and governance have stood him out among his contemporaries in the country. While noting that the former Lagos State Governor had laid solid foundation for continuity of good governance in Lagos, Abiodun added that Tinubu, through his political astuteness, had ensured that the Southwest and indeed Nigeria benefit from the progressive politics of the APC. The governor, who prayed God grants the APC national leader long life and a good health as he inches towards becoming a septuagenarian, expressed joy that Tinubu is waxing stronger in spreading the gospel of progressive politics throughout Nigeria. Governor Abiodun, on behalf of the government and the good people of Ogun State, felicitates with the national leader of All Progressives Congress and statesman Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu on his 69th birthday. He added that Asiwaju Bola Tinubu's stirring accomplishments from the corporate world to being Senator of the Federal Republic, representing Lagos West, to being elected twice as governor and as the only governor standing during the 2003 tsunami are testimonies of a political icon. Now to health-related issues. The federal government has dispelled the possibility of any fake COVID-19 vaccines being administered or sold by unauthorized health institutions in the country. This is contained in a circular by Dr. Adebimpe Adebi, the Director, Department of Hospital Services, Federal Ministry of Health, on behalf of the Minister of Health, Dr. Sage Hamire in Abuja. The circular followed a letter from the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 regarding the arrest of about 3,000 doses of fake COVID-19 vaccines destined for Africa from China. The minister, who acknowledged receipt of the PTF letter, however, stated that dispelled any possibility of COVID-19 vaccines being available for sale or being administered by any unauthorized institution. He called the attention of the chief medical directors and medical directors of federal tertiary health institutions to the fake COVID-19 vaccines destined for Africa, noting that it had been arrested in China. Meanwhile, the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, has clarified that Covishield vaccine by Serum Institute of India PVT Limited is the same as the Oxford AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine. It stated that the AstraZeneca and Oxford University, which originally developed the vaccine, gave the Serum Institute of India PVT Limited the license to manufacture the vaccine at a commercial scale. The regulatory agency stressed that the Covishield and AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccines have the same constituents. But the NAFDAC boss advised Nigerians to ensure that the AstraZeneca vaccine being administered on them at the original label. The agency said the warning was imperative to ensure people did not risk being vaccinated with fake AstraZeneca vaccine. The National Primary Health Care Agency said over 500,000 persons have received the first dose of Oxford AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine across the country. The agency disclosed this in its official Twitter handle. Nigeria commenced vaccination since March 5, first with healthcare workers who are mostly at risk of infections, being the first responders. The agency said the vaccine rollout will be in 4 phases, starting with health workers, frontline workers, COVID-19 rapid response team, laboratory network, policemen, petrol station workers, and strategic leaders. The agency said that Kogi State is yet to commence vaccination as at March 28 because the state had not been supplied with the vaccines. Niger State Minister of Education has disclosed that low-risk boarding secondary schools in rural areas are to run as day schools, while high-risk schools remain closed, even as the schools reopen in phases in the state today. The Commissioner of Education, Haji Anatu Jibril Salihu, in a statement announced the reopening of the schools in phases, saying the decisions to improve the security of the schools were reached after a 2-week closure of the schools in the state to conduct a risk assessment. Haji Salihu said the decisions on phased reopening was later concluded at an expanded management meeting with directors of the ministry, zonal directors of quality assurance, and heads of agencies. According to her, all public day secondary schools are to reopen today, March 29, 2021, while all boarding secondary schools in urban areas are to reopen on Tuesday, April 6, 2021. The federal government is yet to release the fund it promised Edo State for the hosting of the 2020 National Sports Festival with less than a week to its commencement. Musa Eboniana, our project manager in the Media and Communications Subcommittee of the festival's local organizing committee, disclosed this in Benin. He, however, said that while the Edo State government still remained hopeful the fund will be released, an early release will be better. Eboniana pointed out that the need to have a smooth planning was the reason the state deputy governor, Philip Shaibu, at last week appealed for the fund's early release. Coexistence and personal peace are at the heart of global peace and harmony. You can now watch us live on these platforms: Apple, Roku, Facebook, and Android devices. You can also watch live on OGTV website www.ogtv.com.ng/live or email info@ogtv.com.ng. That brings us to the end of OGTV News at midday. In a short while, we'll bring you away. Good afternoon.